Hello everyone. This video is going to be different than my past videos because as the title suggests, I'm just going to be talking basically about what happened on a trip I had. I went to Montreal. I'm still mentioning, the days involved. So day 463, 464, 465, and 466, because those just again functionally were the days that went by. But I'm not going to be going over, the usual like my schedule because I didn't have one. I didn't even like write really what was done in those days. Um, so essentially, there's a lot to really get into here. Um, if this is your first time watching this channel, I'll just mention, my name's Max. I go by the Pathwalker on YouTube, and I upload basically daily videos where I just, I scheduled things. I try to see if I did everything I wanted to do and reflect on things, how to make things better, just overall track my goals and stuff. And I feel like these last 4 days that have gone on are one of the biggest changes that I had in my life, if not the biggest change I had in my life. All in a positive, overwhelmingly positive direction. Um, there's just so much to break down. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm actually like kind of supposed to be working right now, but I work from home. It'll be all fine. But I'm just going to basically tell you guys, for the most part what happened. I'm not going to give like full details about certain things, but essentially, as my new role at work, um, I I went to uh, I went to Montreal to kind of meet some coworkers that were based there. I'm based in, you know, Ontario, Toronto area, and I felt like going there because it was like kind of like a little celebration that was going on with the coworkers. And I was really happy that I went just for work-related reasons too. It was just nice seeing everybody that I only saw online before. Had a great time there. We had a nice dinner afterwards, and then we spent some time after dinner, just having some fun. So, man, it's hard for me to kind of like go over. Well, it was also my first time um, going for a like a long trip. I've never really driven more than 2 hours by myself anywhere. I've never gone on a plane by myself or anything. I drove. It was about 5 hours. When I got there, I had some Airbnb issues. Like I got there at like 1 a.m. and someone was already in the Airbnb I was sleeping in. I was supposed to be at, and it was like shady. It was like not in like the nicest place. And I don't know. I spent another 3 hours just trying to find another hotel room, speaking to Airbnb, and finally at 4 a.m. I fell asleep, and I had to wake up in 4 hours and then go to work. So it was exciting. It was interesting. I'm actually happy that happened in a weird way. It was just I don't know. It just makes the story just mean more. I don't know. It's nice that I like what happened. When I look back on it, obviously in the moment I was like, oh my God, I need to sleep, I need to sleep, I need to sleep. What am I gonna do? And yeah, no, everything worked out there. Um, and without getting too descriptive here, I ended up making the biggest progress in the romantic side of things in my life. You could understand what that means. And um, I had a great time. I had a great time. it was interesting because the day after, which we're going into Saturday morning, I was still planning on staying in Montreal, like for the weekend and come back on Sunday. And I went to, I woke up, was feeling good, I was having some breakfast, talking to some friends, and I was feeling great. I was just feeling on top of the world. I feel like my confidence was up. I was feeling, just awesome. Then, uh, then I went rock climbing there, which was really fun. Um, and then I was going to go to and then I went to see a girl a little bit later, a special girl, uh, which to me is what I think is cause ended up causing some confusion with my emotions or my feelings. I basically just got along really well with somebody, and I feel like I've never had that. I just never really had that. I have like an overthinking. I think I'm like when it comes to people overthinking, I think I'm really high on that, scale. I overthink a lot, and I was really happy because throughout this whole time, I was pretty much amazing with my anxiety. Normally, my anxiety can be really bad sometimes, but I was able to, I had some anxiety moments, but I was able to just push through. I entered it with the right mindset. I had no expectations. I I was like just kind of going with the flow. Whatever happens is happening. I was thinking a lot about things like destiny. I don't know how some of you guys think about that, but I think about that. Um, just when I see certain signs, when things go a certain way, and um, yeah, I felt really good about it all. Now, one thing I that was strange was as Saturday kind of kept going, I was rock climbing. I was thinking about this girl, and I everything was good. I checked out Montreal. But then at one point I started getting this weird feeling and I couldn't quite explain it. Um I felt like I was trying to like it was a weird feeling because I feel like I was looking at the whole situation on paper, right? Like factually, like on everything that happened and I was like this trip basically went, all things considered, all variables accounted for, as good as it could have gone. And anything that could have gone better was out of my control for the most part. But I'm very self-critical. I'm very hard on myself. And that's something that I learned that I'm really trying to work on for myself. I was like, there's things that are in control and things that are not in your control. Of course, you shouldn't care about things that are not in your control. We all know this. But I kept being so hard on myself. I was like, man, this was in my control. This could have gone better. This could have, and it wasn't even that many things, but just I kept thinking maybe there was something I could have done to make things better. And I don't even know if that even was existing, but I just had that idea. And because I had that, I had struggles just being satisfied and happy with things. And I don't even, it was so weird because I couldn't even say what I exactly would have done differently. In hindsight, there's one thing afterwards, after I realized something that I could have done differently, but that's fine. Um, but it was it was a weird thing. And then I started being bothered that I was bothered. It was like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Um, I feel like I ended things off with this girl quite nicely, um, especially given some negative experiences I've had with women in the past, I left things, open and, you know, just gonna see how things go from there, without any pressure or anything like that. Um, that said, while initially I thought, okay, no, my feelings are gonna be okay, like I'm just accepting what comes, right? I had a very good mindset on that for the most part. But I think the confusion I had and the feeling I had was more on the feeling side of things, not the factual side of things. And my feelings, I didn't even know what they meant exactly. I didn't know. I think that's what I was being bothered by. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm not just like talking and everything I'm saying is kind of going through one ear out the other. Um, but then I woke up today, this morning. I got home, by the way. I got home Sunday. Sunday, I just woke up. Also, Saturday night, I ended up going out again. It was fun too. But yeah, and then I got back to my hotel room. I slept, woke up, had some breakfast, and then I drove back home. And then when I got back home, I hung out with my friends, and then I was just tired and I just fell asleep. And now it's 10:12 a.m. currently, so we're waking up fine. I have work to do as well, but essentially, hold on, I just want to double check one thing. I just want to make sure I'm not having any issues with work. Please, please, we're fine. Are we okay? Okay, we're fine. All right. No problemo. Okay. So, um, yeah, basically, I I had a really good time for the most part, and then I started having a period of time where I was like just it wasn't bad, it was just like I was trying to understand. I think I was like just what could I have done better or thinking about things and all this. I got back to my anxiety focused mind. But maybe I'll talk about this a little bit later. One thing I just want to mention is that this trip meant a lot to me. I learned so much from it. I've seen the growth that I've had in myself compared to the past few years, the past decade, I don't know how long. And I'm so happy that I chose to go because, as you saw in my last video, I told myself, please go, please make sure you go. Man, if I knew everything that happened, that would have happened, right? That did happen. And, for some reason I knew that's what was going to happen, but I ended up not going, and then I found out this is what would have happened. It would have been the biggest regret of my life, hands down. Um, so yeah, I was having a really, really good time. I was really happy about um, pretty much everything. I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling good now, like in retrospect. Um, and a few things came to mind for me. So three things I want to talk about. Three. First one I want to talk about is that these this experience I had was like a first thing for me, like so many different aspects of it, and I could feel the change in myself and my confidence in how I just feel like proceeding with things forward. And it makes me want to have as many of these more novel experiences as possible. I want to try to really get out of my shell more whenever an opportunity presents itself. That connects to my second point, which is I feel like one of the guiding things that I'm going to have right now, because I started this before with the girl from church that things didn't work out with, but I ended up, you know, having that moment where I fought through anxiety and I made that conscious decision of what would I regret more, not doing this or doing this. And that has been like my guiding post in both of these situations. And it's always just better that way. So whenever I find a situation, and I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, maybe like in small cases where I don't know, like for instance, I ended up dancing somewhere. It was really fun in Montreal. Like there was after a hockey game, there was like a little mini DJ thing, and people were dancing as a group, and I was dancing, I was taking part of it. Then there was at one point, for instance, where people kind of made a circle, and then one person at a time would come in and like just dance. And I started getting nervous. I'm like, I don't know what dance moves I got, but that was a moment where I know I still would have rather just done something, even if I failed, even if it was silly, because at the end of the day, no one really cares about these things. As long as you don't bother somebody else, everything's fine. So, in general, I'm really going to be thinking so much about um, just if I feel like regretting something or whatever, I'm just going to do it. I just been so much in such a mindset about just living my life. You know what I mean? Like just doing like we're here to live. We're here to explore and try different things and not be so worried about other things, being free. And um I just feel like continuing to do that. And the third point, what was the third point? Uh-oh. I had a feeling. I was like, ah, no, I'm gonna forget what the one of these I'm gonna forget what it is. Um, crap. Hold on. I'm not gonna have a big pause, don't worry. And I'm not gonna cut this video because I do value just you guys seeing my raw thought process, but also I'm too lazy to edit it, let's be real. Um, Although I do think I could actually pause this while I think, but it's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. So what one thing I wanted to talk about as well was okay, we had the confidence was good. We had, novel experiences. We had, avoid trying to make sure not to, regret things or like use that as my guiding post going forward. And um, damn, I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, going back maybe a bit to something I was talking about before with what happened with this girl, there's certain circumstances that um, make things quite uncertain and potentially unlikely that something can work out. But and I think part of me is like I'm having some feelings involved here. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna, take it as it is. If things don't work out, things don't work out, whatever. But especially after I woke up this morning and realizing this, I felt I felt like, damn, I'm actually thinking about this person. And I'm trying to keep things cool, you know. I was trying to not be too pushy. I really didn't want to be pushy with them. I wanted them to be as comfortable as possible. In hindsight, in retrospect, I feel like I could have been a bit more pushy in certain cases. Um, and I didn't like fully take advantage of that. When I say pushy, I don't mean like taking advantage or manipulating. I just mean I think they would have wanted that. But I was kind of very careful. I don't know. I just feel like because I've had a lot of experiences in the past where I think I was too much or something, and I felt like that put off the girl, and that was kind of something that I was working on. So I feel like for the most part, my adjustment that I did was good. But part of it I think is like, look, she's clearly into you. You don't have to worry so much about being perfect, kind of thing. But that said, one thing I did want to mention was I had some performance issues, and while it's fairly normal with multiple factors considered, one benefit of this is that I am now fully committed to defeating the porn addiction. Like, I have never felt this certainty in my body. Like, yeah, I've said it. Yeah, I've made commitments. Yes, I said I'm never going to look at porn again or whatever. But after this and knowing that it's going to help me in future situations, I feel better than ever in terms of um, like sticking to it. I'm just never going to look at that stuff again. And I feel again, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to like really for me to have felt this way, but I just know it's over. And it's like I don't care how tempted things are going to be in the future, but I just know that it's the right move and it's everything's going to work out because of it. Um, in terms of something I want to tell anybody listening here that may have been or is in a similar situation to me, especially how my last 10 years or so have gone, where I've had like very limited experiences with women. Um, you really want to try to take these kind of opportunities. Any of these opportunities that can present themselves. It's just I just feel like I'm just growing. Like I just feel like I am at a point where um I I had some limiting beliefs about myself or some insecurities about myself, and I'm not saying I'm completely over them, but for the most part, I just feel like yeah, I can I can do things. I can feel good about myself. I can do whatever I want. And I think if you've never gone on a trip by yourself, that you definitely should do it. Try to have a plan. Unlike me, I usually don't plan that much. But um, let's just say I'm really happy again that I chose to, go through with this decision. We'll see what's going to happen. We'll see how things change as time goes on. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I am now a proper man, you know? And I just feel like bettering myself in so many different ways. I feel like just getting my shit clean, like having things clean, having things in order, doing things I want done. Um, on the streaming side of things, when it comes to Twitch streaming, this is like I think this was a weekend where I was supposed to stream 3 days in a row, and I didn't stream once because of this trip, which is fine. But it made me start to think about maybe not streaming. Um, made me want to because the reason why is not that there's something wrong with streaming, but because streaming takes a significant amount of time out of my week that I could be spending trying to explore more or go out more or these kind of things. Like I didn't go out that much, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think there's pros and cons to a lot of things. But in my situation, in terms of lacking confidence, in terms of having anxiety and things, you want to expose yourself to things that, you know, challenge you. And I'm glad I now I remember the third point I wanted to say, which to me is quite beautiful. if it is hasn't been obvious already, and maybe if those of you who don't know, I have had struggles with the romantic department in my life, all my life, due to anxiety, due to just unfortunate circumstances that end up happening. And, you know, you, I think you'd have the thought like, man, I wish I was just good with women, like straight out of high school, right? Like straight out of high school, I just immediately like I could, everything was smooth. I learned things. I did, like, I don't know, I just, but that wasn't me. And there's something I just find beautiful, valuable, awesome about having something to overcome. Like this change that I made in myself due to this experience I just had, it just feels so special to me knowing how these last 15 years have gone that led to this moment. Um, and it's changed the way that I look at things in life and where I want to set my sights on. And I don't know, I just feel like it's just a great story to my life. Even though there was adversity that sucked in this department for most of my life, it feels very special to me that I overcame it this way and that I felt mature. I feel like there's definitely room for me to mature more, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like this is the story of Max, you know, and I started to like more things about myself. You know, there's parts of me that were thinking, oh, you play video games, you watch anime, and you know, you don't really go out much, you don't really have much with women, you're a loser. Those are things that that's like a story that I was telling myself. And while I'm sure some of those feelings or thoughts are still not completely out, I started just thinking, you know what? I think when I look at my life in the big picture in terms of, you know, the way that I've moved to doing new things and having video games, having things like anime, having just my big picture where I like to just be comfortable by myself sometimes and just, you know, have my personal time and just everything. I think it's a cool thing. It's me. It's me, you know? And yeah, I'm getting a little bit emotional, you know. I don't know if I'm gonna start crying a little bit here or getting teary-eyed, whatever. But I really feel like I'm a man. Um, and I'm so happy that not only was this a nice experience, but I feel so good about my life going forward from here. I really feel so good about things going forward from here. And to me, that's probably the most important thing of all, how this is going to change going forward. And that said, we're not out of the woods yet in terms of this change. Like I mentioned in the past, change takes time and your body resists change. Um, and the truth is that you really need some key motivating factors to help you to do certain things. For example, like this porn addiction thing. In my case, my motivating factor is wanting to perform when the time comes, you know. And that to me is just something that I really value to the point that that's why I'm not going to have a problem because I really value that. You have to really want it. Going back to the procrastination video, what do you want, right? What is it? What are things that you want in your life? Truly want. I know it's cliche and everyone heard it. It's like, oh, why are you doing something because you don't want it enough? How do I make myself want it? At the end of the day, if you don't actually want it, then you don't want it. That's it. You can't just make yourself want something. You're going to want what you're going to want. And the best way to find out really what you want is to do as many experiences, have as many novel experiences as you can, because that's what's going to guide you. How do you know what job you want to work? You don't. So what do? You take your best guess at what you would like, you do it, and then you adjust. You find out, hey, I didn't really like this thing, but I liked this aspect of it. Maybe there's another job that has this aspect more. And then you go to that next job, and then you experience that. Hopefully it'll be better. And then from there, you'll find something, I really like this aspect more, and then you go to that. And just the same way, that's how everything in life is. Just try, just do, just go, do things. And it's sad. It's quite sad that I've had a lot of moments in my life where I had those opportunities, but due to anxiety or fear, I didn't take them. I had an analogy. I don't know if I ever talked about it in this throughout this channel, but I had this analogy about doors that lead to darkness. I feel like randomly in points of our lives, you're gonna have these moments where you'll see a door and you don't see what's beyond the door. It's just dark. And there's an element of that that's a little bit scary, right? There's an element of that that's like I don't know, it's the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little worried. I'm a little paranoid. I'm anxious. But when you go down that door in those moments when these opportunities present themselves, you grow as a person. Whatever was behind that door that's darkness, once you step into that, it's not dark anymore. Now you know what's behind that door. And the next time a similar door presents itself or a similar situation, it's not going to be as dark and you're going to be able to go there. Take those opportunities. And I've told myself this before, but I struggle to do it. But man, it's like any time, like when I was dancing and people started that ring as like that was a moment, for example. Like just do it, just go for it. Yeah, I'm anxious. Yeah, I'm anxious. Just do it. Hey, there's a cute girl. Yeah, I'm anxious that I'm going to say something stupid and look dumb. Just do it. I did it, by the way. I did that randomly. There was a girl that I thought looked cute, and I said something really like awkward, but then I moved on, and I'm like, no one cares about this anymore. You know? It's never as bad as you think it is, even if things go wrong. And I think really my one of the biggest message that I have, well, I had multiple messages here, but one of the biggest ones for sure is just overcoming anxiety, you know, for for things that end up just making your life better and you growing as a person. Take those chances. Take those chances because at the end of the day, even if you're in a situation where something's going to hurt, you're going to learn and you're going to grow. And that's how I feel. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that now I have things figured out. No, sir. I still have a long way to go. But I feel like I can confidently say, and this is one of the things that I feel this is one of the milestones I wanted to hit before I really started to show this channel to other people. It's to it's to just just be you and go for things. And you're not always going to be perfect at it. When I say perfect at it, I mean being you in those situations. You're not always going to be able to be you, but that's okay. In a way, that's still you being you, if that makes any sense. So, if anyone's still listening, I've just gone through a big change in my life, a big experience, and it's easy to regress back into my safety zone. But I'm happy that I have this channel where I just talk and reflect on my life that forces me to reflect on my life so that I can really verbally say to myself and to the world that I want to keep this momentum. I want to keep this going. I want to keep exploring and discovering and challenging myself and overcoming difficulties. Isn't that kind of what life just feels about? Overcoming adversity? That's what I think. So anyways, it's 10:37. This video's gone on for quite a while now. Um, Lots of stuff to come for the channel, of course, but I feel great. And yeah, so I'm quickly just going to go over the plan for the rest of today. We're going to work, have a meal, walk the dog, work, vacuum, laundry, just clean around the house. I have some extra time. We're going to go to sleep by midnight. This to me is what my plan really is. Yeah, nothing else to really comment on. That's it. This is it. So, yeah, yeah. Actually, I guess I could quickly go over the goal viewer now that oh yeah, sorry, my headset died for a second there. So let's have a quick look here at our goal viewer, the 26th. We're the 30th now. Holy smokes. Um, well, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna wrap everything up to today. Well, actually, maybe I will go until the 29th because that would have been yesterday. So what are we gonna do here? We're gonna have sleep improved because we're a lot better right now. We're gonna have sleep changed to a there we go, a light yellow. Nutrition, we could keep their fitness, we could keep their rock climbing, we could keep their YouTube. Even though there's more work, I feel like I've just come to such a big change that I'm gonna put YouTube back to a yellow. Laundry actually needs to be done. Vacuum and cleaning, I'm gonna actually put orange to these. Um, yeah, dog walking also needs to be. Actually, we can leave dog walking there. I ended up walking my dog yesterday. Romantic is actually gonna go into the green. Never have I had. I don't think I remember having it that good. Friends, family. Honestly, I've been starting to connect with my friends during this trip. Uh, yeah, things feel quite nice. So, yeah, that's what I will change it at for this. Um, I need to get to work. Need to get to work, but I just had to upload this video before that. I just had to get this video done. So, again, thank you. Thank you if you're still listening and listening to me go through a huge change in my life. Um, but yeah, overcome adversity. Focus on that. Don't let adversity crush you. Let it strengthen you. So with that said, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.